At 28 years old, I was, praying that my 2-month-old wasn't going to grow up without a dad or without a dad that could play catch or, you know, wrestle around or be involved in the typical way you would envision. My first job involved a 4-hour round trip to Butler, Alabama, big town. It was a great job. I enjoyed it, loved it, but I will say I did a lot of books on tape in that time of my life. And ultimately, when Owen was born, I had to cut out the transit time to be home before bedtime, and so I did an internal transfer to Forest, Mississippi. About a month into my job in Forest, life really kind of took a turn. I developed a severe headache and swelling around my eye, and eventually, after enough encouragement from my wife, I went to the ER. And long story short, I developed an abscess that is pushing on my brain. Steve asked me in the hospital when I was first admitted, how I felt and about the situation, and I reflexively responded, "God is sovereign," and I knew it, but that's not really how I felt. Ultimately, I spent 5 days in the hospital after sinus surgery, and then I had to undergo 6 weeks of IV antibiotics with a PICC line after I went home. The reason I include those details is ultimately I was going back to a job as a therapist. Well, because of the PICC line, I was under direct doctor's orders not to provide direct patient care. Well, if you've ever been to physical therapy, it's hard to envision a physical therapist working and not providing direct patient care. It's definitely not easy to find in the HR job description. And what happened is ultimately to get a paycheck, I had to be productive in other ways. About a year later, our parent company filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And in October of 2016, another competing therapy company decided to try to take advantage of the situation and basically tried to buy the business without buying the business. They went to the management level and they said, "Here's an offer you can't refuse," and try to bring everybody else with you. At the same time, I got offered the mantle of leadership in our own company. I think the largest doubt I faced was I didn't feel up to the task. I didn't feel good enough. I felt like, and I knew that was the enemy talking. I knew that, but there were many times that I felt like, why? And you even start wishing that somebody else would have gotten the opportunity instead. I remember one time specifically, I came home talking about the what ifs of leaving, and Kaylin just finally looked at me very lovingly and said, "Andrew, you're not going anywhere. I don't even know why you're talking like that." And I will admit that I had no idea of the trials that we would face over the next year. And I'm still not entirely sure why they offered me the position. On paper, it makes no sense. Who would think that a physical therapist with only 4 years of experience and 0 corporate experience would be anyone's pick to manage 20 locations across the Southeast? Perhaps they just thought I was the only one naive enough to take the job. It seems it's only after the trials that we look back and we see God's work sometimes, or a lot of times even. But knowing that God was in control and seeing His specific intervention along the way was really almost strangely just enough to help me keep going, help me persevere through some of the tough times. I just challenge you to take courage and keep walking, keep following. God doesn't He doesn't avoid giving us more than we can handle. He helps us handle what we are given.